let's talk about the top of the division here, because what a game between the Dolphins and Bills coming up this weekend and what it means. What are you seeing from the scheme of the Dolphins? Because, again, I want to – clearly it's difficult to adjust on defense if you don't know the speed until you see it, right? Because they're fast. But what is McDaniel doing with the speed that might be different from what other coaches are doing with similar or close to that amount of speed that they have, Chris?
Well, I don't think anybody's got quite as much speed as they have, and then they go get the running back from Texas A&M, A-Chain, who goes off yesterday for over 200 yards. And I think the most interesting thing about them is you look at like the offseason through the lens of additions, subtractions, the draft, free agency. But I think McDaniel got in his bag and figured out ways to keep Tua clean, because when he's clean, he's great. I mean, he's played great this year, and they've kept him clean, having to cycle backup tackles and that sort of thing. They get Armstead back this week, but they figured out a way to do that. And then they figured out a way to make that run game lethal. I mean, that is unfair to be able to 5 rushing touchdowns, 8.5 a pop, 350. Norm Van Brocklin's name's coming up, 1951. It's never good. They're so good in the run game because they get sideways so fast. So you get out and you're like, it's like standing in a freeway and watching cars go by. Whether it's, the motion, the same side motion, the layering of looks, I think is the biggest thing. Like as a defender, especially a second level defender, it's layering different things you have to think about pre-snap and then post-snap. It's motion one way, it's pullers, and then, it's pass. And then, they got us sideways the entire game. We're going to knife the ball downhill. We're mixing in gap scheme. We're going to get guys on the second level. I think the run game is a real weapon that they've started to showcase. And I think smart by him. We haven't gotten this rookie a bunch of touches. The Broncos are so bad defensively, it's not a secret. Let's get guys going this week. Really embarrassing for the Broncos. I don't know that I've ever seen a game like that. And I've been a part of some bad ones. Like Sean Payton said, I've been a part of some bad ones. He's been on the other side of it. Never seen one like that. And Vance Joseph, like last week, the Commanders put up 30-something points on you, and they get shut out this week. So not that you're looking at that score, but you're like, damn, we have a long way to go. That Dolphins offense is special.
Before I move on with the Dolphins a little bit more, let's linger on the Broncos. Did they quit? Did you see guys quit on the field? And I know that's very infused. I understand that you can't accuse an NFL player of anything worse other than maybe, throwing a game purposefully.
Yeah.
What do you think, Chris?
I don't think, I don't want to throw the Q word around, but I do think there was a point in the game where it became apparent that they had no shot. And the scariest thing about this thing is, like, if I were to tell you, you're the Broncos, you're down 21-10, things have not gone well in the first half, but they give the ball to Ingold being aggressive on 4th down, and you get the ball with 5 minutes to go, chance to make this a 1-score game. This shows you how good the Dolphins are and how bad the Broncos are defensively. They go to the half down 35-13.
Mm-hmm.
It's 21-10 with 5 to go in the first half. And most teams are thinking about, hey, 1 possession here. Can we eat up 3 minutes, give it back to them, play 2-minute defense? But because of the way they played at the end of that half, they were totally out of it. And then the second half, you could see mentally guys are out of it. I don't know about quitting, but there's a hopelessness that comes with playing on a defense like that, where you're like, there's nothing we can do. The space, it's stacked against us. We can't tackle. You got Chosen Anderson or
Robbie Chosen.
Because at first he did Chosen Anderson, and yes, Anderson was on the nameplate, and they had to go back to the DMV and be like, hey, I'm here again. It's like, I think it's where you get your passports, actually. But
yeah.
Like, you got him beating Pat Surtain for a touchdown. You got Mike White in there at the end of the game. I don't know if they quit, but that's as close as you get. I mean, the Bears are a dumpster fire. I don't know where it's more miserable, in that defensive room this week in Denver or in Chicago.
And, Garrett Bowles, I'm sure you saw his comment saying, for 7 years I've gotten my brains beaten in. I'm sick of losing. Obviously, you know that feeling as well. What would you?
I felt like Garrett Bowles for 30 seconds. It brought me back. And like he was a high pick, had trouble, out the gate for a year and a half, and he kind of came on, and that's a guy that I felt happy for as he's starting to play well individually. But like, if you're a Bronco, you just like, where's the end of the tunnel? Sean Payton's supposed to be a lifeboat. He's talking about the coaching job the last team did, the last staff. You've got, I joked yesterday, you've traded for Sean Payton at times. Like, go trade for Bill Belichick and get the defense right. Because honestly, it's like they fixed the offense. People are talking about, hey, Russ isn't playing well. He's actually, the offense looks better. But who would have thought the defense would be the problem?
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.